What's up, YouTube? This is your girl Bree, back with another video. As you can tell from my title, I am doing story time. I am going to tell y'all about my experience at Burger King. Um, just to let y'all know, I've been fired and I quit. So I've been hired twice from there. Um, Without further ado, let's get into the story. All right, let's start from the beginning. Okay, the reason why I started working for Burger King is because my boyfriend was working there. And I was just trying to find a job at the time. I wasn't really looking for anything specific, but it was kind of hard at the time to get hired on, if that makes sense. So he helped me get hired on and stuff. Well, I guess somebody didn't know me one of the managers didn't even know me from Adam or Eve. And they ended up calling me a H. Like, really? Like, you don't know me. Like, how am I a hoe? Like, I'm not. And like the manager didn't tell me, but like one of the crew members told me. They was like, "Hey, I want to come up to you, and I just want to let you know that this person is saying this about you, and I feel like they don't even really know you to even be saying it." So I'm like, "Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know, giving me that heads up that somebody's talking about me." It is like funny because I'm like, man, like I just got hired on up here. Like, what's the problem? Like I ain't did nothing. So basically, like I'm just a little lobby girl right now. Like I'm just working front counter. They're training me on there, and then basically, so the person that was talking to me, it was a manager that said that about me. Basically, she came, she apologized. I told her it was cool because we're at work and I really ain't got time for the beef. I'm just here for the check. So and I was working with another crew member, number two. I want to call her because she's gonna end up being a manager. I was working with number two crew member. She was cool. We was cool. We was cordial. Like we wasn't like, oh, buddies. No, that's not my best friend. But we was cool. And like basically she was up for promotion. She was about to become a manager and I congratulated her and all that. And then I was working on a shift with her one night. And this one dude was trying to holler at me through the drive-through. I gave him some random number because he wasn't trying to leave without the number. But basically, I had overheard crew member number two, which is now about to be manager number one. Basically, I heard her say my name. And like when you say my name and you say it in a certain tone where I know it ain't good, oh, I realize it. So basically, she was like, yeah, Bree something something. So I'm like, okay, I'm still doing my job. I'm doing my job. And then I heard my name again. So I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like, really? Like, why are you talking about me? Yes, this dude tried to holler at me. Plenty of dudes try to holler at me. But you really think I want to sit here and give somebody my number? No, no, no. I got a whole boyfriend. Why would I give somebody my number? That don't make no sense. So basically, that little drama let's start putting a little shadiness between me and crew member number two, which ends up being manager number one. Basically, yeah, we had that vibe between each other where obviously I feel like I wouldn't say she was jealous, but the whole thing it was just animosity. I don't know, like I wouldn't say she was jealous of me. But come like a few weeks, GM number one, oh, she's the best. GM number one, she does her stuff. She had ended up making me a manager, which manager number one thought that was too soon for me. So she felt kind of, threatened, if that makes sense, for a position. But basically, when I became a manager, like she wouldn't really talk to me if that makes sense. Like it wouldn't be no direct talk. It'd be like hey, I gotta tell you something because such and such. The other managers, you know what happened on shifts and stuff. All right. Basically, she would end up like how she would communicate with me. She'll write like sticky notes and like write on them and like give them to my boyfriend, and then my boyfriend would give them to me, which I would get so mad. I'd be like so freaking mad. I'm like, why can't she not sit here and tell me herself? He's like, I don't know. I'm not in between it. I'm not a manager. I'm just a crew member. I'm just giving this to you because she said it. So basically, I'm like, man, why can't you just do your job? Like, we're managers. Like, we're here for a paycheck. We're not here for feelings. We're not here to make buddies or best friends. But she felt that way. So keep going through the days. Basically, me and my boyfriend ended up getting into an argument at work because I told him to do something and he felt like he was being overused, if that makes sense. Like I was just using him to do things when really I wasn't. But sometimes you feel that way because I be pointing out little detailed things. That's just my OCD in me. Like, really. Like, hey, this ain't clean. Hey, that ain't clean. Like, I go around everybody and I start pointing out everything, bro. Like, hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do that. Hey, this, and that. I was the type of manager, like, if you was hungry, I'll let you get a sandwich, but hey, let me know you got that sandwich so I can put it down for waste so we can keep our count straight. Because, like, if you don't put food down for waste, it's going to mess up our counts, and then it's going to be thinking that we're stealing, which I really, like, come on now. I feel like since we were at our food place, like, our workers should get a free meal at least. Like a free meal. Like why do we have to pay for a meal? Like I understand why y'all would make somebody pay for bills because they, overuse and like misuse. But messing with me, just let me know you. Hey, I'm making me a sandwich. All right, I'll write it down. Hey, I'm getting me some ice cream. Okay, write it down. Hey, I'm getting a drink. Okay, write it down. All right. So basically, snap photo. Okay, so basically, me and my boyfriend got into an argument about work. He ended up getting a little frustrated and he destroyed work property. Ended up manager number one, which was crew member number two. She ended up finding out, but I had did all the protocols that I needed to do for that situation on my shift. But she ended up telling the GM before I could. And he ended up getting fired, which, come on now, you destroy property, you know you're going to get fired. So I understood that, but it was like some animosity between them two. She ended up trying to fight me at work while I was on the clock. And she tried to fight me. And I was at work on the clock, and I'm like, I'm not about to fight nobody on the clock. But I'm like, and then on top of that, you're a manager and you work here. All right, so after that, she ended up quitting because she thought that I was going to sit there and tell on her about her wanting to fight me while I was on the clock, which I wasn't going to do that because why? Why would I do that? You need to work, you need to pay bills. I'm not about to stop your money flow, which I can be that bee, but I'm not. So basically, once you feel that little guilty conscience, you leave. So she left. I ended up cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. Um, GM number one, she had left at. Yeah, she left. Yeah, she left after making me a manager. GM number one. So we're on GM number two, and GM number two, she liked me, but didn't like me because of her daughter. Me and her daughter had some problems, personal problems. But her daughter wanted to fire me. Like this girl literally tried to call because I was like, we'd be texting back and forth, arguing, and like she like such and such. I'm like, girl, whatever. I'm at work lying like a motherfucker because I wasn't. Just to see what she would do, just to see. Bro, she was like, my mama is a GM there, and she can get you fired. You in the drive-through cussing customers out. I'm like, all right, call. So she calling and stuff like, you got a coworker named Brianna Johnson trying to sit here and cuss out customers and stuff. They was laughing. Like, the people at work, they was like, She doesn't even work today. She felt salty, bro. She felt salty. Cause come on now, how you gonna get me fired? Because I'm cussing you out. That's some petty shit, boo. I ain't never did nothing like that. But it was just hilarious. Like I used to get up under my GM daughters, my GM number two daughters. Like I be getting in her head, getting under her skin. Like, bro, you keep doing something that you know you ain't supposed to do, but you're doing it anyway. All right, I'm gonna keep pissing you off. I'm still gonna keep getting under your skin. So we're working. I'm working with the GM number two, and she knows that me and her daughter got these problems and stuff. So she's keeping it cordial. She's making sure like she's doing her job and like keeping work, home. So uh, she couldn't fire me because I was a good worker. I was a bomb ass worker. She couldn't find no reason to fire me until this one incident. I was working overnight, and it was I want to say it was around like 5 o'clock in the morning, breakfast time. My cook had forgot to switch the boards. So basically, so when this customer pulls up, I'm like, "Hi, welcome to Burger King. How can I help you?" She ends up being like, "I want a Whopper," which our boiler thing was down, and we don't start making burgers until around like 8, 9 o'clock because it's close to like 10. So basically, she was like, "What? You got dinner up? I don't see no breakfast." I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. My cook is coming outside to switch the boards." So my cook, he switched the boards. So I was like, "I'm sorry about that. I'll give you a minute to look at the menu." She's like, "Okay." So she's looking. So eventually she ended up saying, "What the fuck? I don't want none of this. I want a Whopper." I'm like, "Well, ma'am, I'm sorry. I can't get you a Whopper." So then she started cussing me out and stuff, and so I was like, straight, just went off the whole drive through, and so then I walked outside. So I walked outside to smoke a cigarette. I'm like, man, this is stupid, bro. So I'm standing outside my car, my envoy, like I just got that, like I just got it. Mm, mm. And I tell you, this hurt my soul. Like when I sit here and tell y'all, I don't fight while I'm on the clock. This will give me a reason to fight on the clock. Basically, so when I walked outside, I lit up my cigarette. I'm standing by the passenger door because my boyfriend was in the driver's seat. So basically, I'm standing by the passenger door with the window down. Talking to him, this, and that, and telling him what happened. So basically, out of nowhere, we both heard this scream. All right, so this whole car comes behind my car, flips around. Remind y'all, I'm on the passenger side. So they did a whole Yui, my nigga, and almost ran me over. I had to hop in my car, bro, and shut their door to make sure they did not run me over. So they ended up hopping out. I hopped out. And they're like, well, this, and that. Start cussing and all that. Basically trying to jump me. Jump me over a Whopper. A Whopper. But basically, my boyfriend, oh my god, like he came out of nowhere. Like I ain't even know he was coming to the rescue. That nigga, whew, he came up in between me and them girls, and basically he was taking all them hits because they was starting to throw hits, and I was about to square up, but I was like, bro, I'm at work. I'm like, you wanna know what? Forget this. I'm about to call my GM number three. I mean, GM number two. Yeah, she's GM number two. My bad. I'm getting ahead of myself. But basically GM number two, I'm calling her. I'm like, hey, somebody got mad because we forgot to switch the boards. So now I went outside to go smoke a cigarette, and basically now they're trying to fight me and jump me and stuff. And she ended up still being on the phone while I'm sitting there like, bro, I'm not about to fight you. I'm not about to fight you. Like I'm telling these females that I'm not about to fight you. So one of them ended up coming because I still had the door open, and my boyfriend was standing in the way, and I was like in between the door and my boyfriend. So the girl ended up kicking my shit. Bro, when I tell you that pissed me off, I was like, no, she didn't. No, she did not just kick my car. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Bro, my window don't even work on that bitch no more. Straight up. It was brand new. And she messed up the window. $282. She know how much it costs. And I still remind her every day. Every time I see her. But, I'm gonna let it go because it's a new year. So new year, new me. But basically she messed up my car door, my window, kicking it, and then that's when my cook came out. My cook came out and grabbed the girl that was kicking my door, while Marcellus was holding the other girl. So they're still fighting them, trying to get to me. So then I was like, bro, like I'm seeing my boyfriend scratched up, bleed, and then I see my cook out here trying to hold. I'm like, man, this is too much. I need to like do something. So then they over there trying to hold him off. So eventually Marcellus was helping my cook with the other girl that was kicking my door. The girl that he was holding off was like basically she was trying to get at me. And so when she tried to charge, I found the little open way between my cook and my boyfriend. And whoop, like when I tell you, they didn't see me. Like I was like the Black Knight coming in swooping. So basically I swooped in there, I snatched that girl up, put her by her, like I had her on the car, like jacked up. I'm like, man, you need to quit fucking playing with me, this, and that. So I ended up getting snatched off of her by my cook and my boyfriend, and they're pulling me into the building. Which reminds you, camera seen all this, like the camera seen all. So they ended up pulling me in there. The girls, they ended up going around the building to the doors, bamming on it, like lifting up their shirts, hitting their head, punching the doors. I'm like, bro, these bitches is crazy. Like, no, honey, like this Whopper ain't this serious, bro. Like this Whopper ain't that serious. I'm still pissed. I'm pissed about my car. So I see one of the girls pick up a rock, bro. Pick up a rock. My cook had to go outside and take that rock from her. And he was like, bro, this is my car. You need to quit. Like you need to stop right now. Basically he lied and said it was his, so they went, so they went and throw a rock through my window. So basically my GM number two, she came up. Remind you, her daughter don't like me. So this is a reason to fire me. So she ended up, she was like, I was like, I'm sorry, this and that. They got mad, this and that. And she was like, I know, but I'm gonna need you to go home and then I'm gonna call you and let you know. So I'm like, okay. So, I'm fired. Um, I ended up getting fired. Fast forwarding some months later, GM number three, she ended up talking to me, and she ends up hiring me and my boyfriend, and she ends up hiring us with more money than I was. The only reason why I came back is they promised me that check. Because I wasn't gonna go back unless I got paid because that was some bullshit that I went through last time. And I'm like, bro, if I'm gonna be going through what I'm gonna be going through, I need a paycheck. So GM number three, she ended up giving me what I wanted in payment and my boyfriend. So we're both working, we're working. Boyfriend ends up getting fired because sorry, GM number three, she be in her feelings, bro. She ended up being in her feelings because my boyfriend sat there and told her like, hey, I'm tired of doing truck. Can you train somebody else to do truck? And then basically she got hyped and got mad, and so then she started yelling at him, which my boyfriend, I always told him, like, hey, if somebody else, you at work, you can't be doing that. But he ended up yelling back, and so basically she fired him. But I was still there, like, I wasn't leaving. Shit, you paying me money, nigga, but you just better not come at me wrong, because I'm going to let you know. But basically, so I was working with her, everything going good, solid. She ended up making me assistant GM. So now I'm assistant. I'm like, hey, I'm making that money. So I'm making this salary. I'm making salary wage. So I'm getting paid regardless, no matter what, any hours I work. Which was a downfall for me because they ended up. I wish I stayed at the hourly rate because how some of these managers did me, it was wrong. But it was like, man, like if I was paying hourly, I really wouldn't be mad about it. But like some of the managers, like they called in, like I'd be working a night shift, morning shift manager be like, oh, I'm not coming. I had to stay from 11 to 2, like 11 p.m. to 2 p.m. What? Like, really? I'm like, all right, okay, like, I'm fine. Just work it out. All right. So there was multiple times where I had to sit there and do a shift like that, like 12, 14-hour shifts. But basically, GM number 3 ended up getting fired. And then GM number 4 came. GM number 4, oh my God, he's an ass. Like, no, he's a pushover. Like, really? I was like totally done with him. Like, how he acted, how he pushed people over. Like, he didn't even treat me like I was his assistant GM. He treated me like I was just a crew member. So I had got so tired of that, I ended up quitting. And that's pretty much it for my story. I hope y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be back with another video. So I'll see y'all later, all right?